Welcome to the channel, guys. This is our new farm truck. We just recently acquired this baby. So essentially this is my new side-by-side. I don't know if you've priced out side-by-sides lately, but they're absolutely crazy, and this is going to work just fine. This was kind of a deal, helping out a neighbor, and I got this truck out of the deal, and was told it didn't run, told it wasn't gonna run, and it took me about 10 minutes to make it run. So it doesn't run well, runs terrible, but it does run, it does drive, and it does kind of stop. The brakes are kind of weird to hang up. So let's get into that. So I'm hoping the fan noise here isn't going to kill the audio too bad, but I got this little truck running. I was told it didn't run, and I found a battery disconnect under the hood, and when I turned the key on, I could hear the fuel pumps just running non-stop, and when that happened, it kind of was suspicious to me. So I thought, well, maybe it's out of fuel. So the fuel gauge was reading about 1/8 of a tank, and so I went and got a 5-gallon can of gas, and this thing started right up. So it doesn't run good. I ran it just down the street and parked it in the driveway, and the brakes weren't working real good, but it did go into gear, and it's everything it can do to just drive down the street at 0 power, and it stinks. So there it is. So that was my suspicion. The cleaner box is completely and totally full of mouse house. So if you can't get air in, you can't make any power. So I'm gonna get the shop vac, clean that out a little bit. Basically this thing's just running like it's completely choked. So we're gonna pull this mouse house out of here. Should probably where it was. Not gonna. All right, gonna run and blow this filter out real quick. So, got my section of the property that's down in the woods. We ride down there on quads all the time, and that's fine. But I kind of eyeballed a couple of side-by-sides, and I just looked at them, and they're so dang expensive. I just don't feel like putting my money into that. So I decided we're not gonna buy a side-by-side. I was actually looking for a Jeep Cherokee, and I've had a few of them in the past, and I thought, man, a little Jeep Cherokee would be perfect. They're tiny, and this popped up. So I've got a neighbor. She's an old widow, and her husband was one of the craziest hoarders you've ever seen. He actually collected some really neat stuff, but she's left behind a atrocious mess. You know, I mean, this guy collected truckloads of pallets, truckloads of car parts, truckloads of junk, anything that was left over at a garage sale, I do believe he dragged home. And the farm was kind of known as the place that you could probably go and drop just about anything off, and he'd take it. So she's trying to clean the place up a little bit, wants to sell the place, so I'm helping her out. I have at my disposal a skid steer with a grapple, an excavator, and my tractor with all of its things, and super sweet old lady. So what we're going to do, my wife and I, we're cleaning out the barns, we're cleaning out the property. Not worth me spending $1,000 on parts and stuff just to find out that maybe it's got a blown head gasket or maybe it's got some real problems. I need to do, you know, and I've got about 10 minutes of looking at this thing and 5 minutes of driving it. I know that I need to clean the battery posts. I know it has coolant. I know it has oil. The valve covers leak on the exhaust manifolds, and this is a 2.9 liter. It's going to need plugs, wires, cap and rotor, all that good stuff. But for right now, to get it running and analyze this thing a bit, we're going to do a carbon bomb, and I'll probably grab the bigger shop vac and vacuum out the interior because it is terrible, and we're going to go from there. I do believe I can probably make this thing run 20 times better, literally doing a carbon bomb and pulling that mouse house out of the air box here. did those two, I did 2 half cans. I had 2 half cans of seafoam laying around, and I ran both the half cans. I didn't have quite the right tip on one of them, was broken, and didn't have the right hose, but we got her done. Do a little test drive. Usually what'll happen is this thing's gonna blow a whole bunch of gray smoke out the tailpipe, and that's fine. We don't have much brakes, and the pedal stays on the floor afterwards. Let's see what we got. Friends in the road up here. All right, so the trick to this is you run the seafoam through it, and you go out and you drive the heck out of it. So we're on a 35-mile-an-hour road here, so we're just gonna slow it down to 10 miles an hour and log on it and get her back up about 40, and it's running way better than it was. I can only just barely get it to move before. So oil, temp, charge, fuel, everybody's in the range. Still not running great. It's still blowing a ton of gray smoke out. But the check engine light did go out, so that's something. Yeah, like I was saying, you know, I could go out and buy a new side-by-side, but they're a lot of money, and I just don't see it. Maybe someday, but at this stage of the game with the projects I've got going, my money goes a lot farther elsewhere on remodeling the cabin, working on the property, everything else I've got going on. So we're just not going to spend, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's kind of spend whatever you want. You go look at a new Kubota diesel or something, and then you start adding some stuff to get to where you have a side-by-side that's got, you know, I'm in Washington, so it rains all the time. At least 7, 8 months out of the year we're getting rain. I don't want an open station one. So I basically, to get one with a cab on it and a heater, which is what I'd want, it gets pretty expensive. So this little truck, if we can make it go down up and down the hill, I'll put some knobby mud tires on it, and we'll be able to throw chainsaws and stuff in the back and go down the hill and work on things. And one really big thing is with my little boys, if I'm down there and they're getting wet and then they're cold, when you take the quad down the hill, you can't put them in anything and get them warmed up. So this will be able to sit down there, and yeah, I can tell we're gonna turn the heat down, get warm, but I'll be able to put the boys inside it when I'm down there working, and they can warm up a little bit. It at least revs up now and takes off. It's still not running great, but it's still also probably got some really bad fuel in the tank. This thing's been sitting 6 or 7 years, and so it's got 5 gallons of fresh gas in it, a can of seafoam in the tank, and a little bit down the intake. So you gotta be careful when you do a carbon bomb on one of these. Sometimes that catalytic converter gets red hot, and if it's got a bunch of oil leak down there or something, you could have a fire pretty quick. Clean all this junk out, and lots of crap behind the seat. And yep, Craftsman. I thought we had a snap-on. Looks a lot like my snap-on screwdrivers. So yeah, we'll go through, clean all this, see what kind of treasures we find. Probably a mouse in here, I'm gonna guess. And clean all this out. We'll get it pressure washed, and we'll leave it parked in here with a fan.
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
A lot of good stuff in there? There might be. Oh, there's ants everywhere.
There is?
Yeah, don't want ants in here.
No?
No, we're gonna have to. We might be taking this operation outside. Do not want ants in my shop. There's a hole. They're everywhere. They're all over me. That is a whole freaking colony of ants there. Gross. No,
Take off the temper.
that garbage can over there?
Ew.
The bees are gone, the ants are gone. Well, mostly gone. There's still a couple bees around, and there's probably still some ants in here, but we're gaining on it. It's still got the green there, but the dash kind of cleaned up. I did wash the windows. All right, guys, she's cleaned up a little bit. It looks good right now because it's wet. It'll look a lot worse once it dries out, but for right now, you can see the clear coat. I don't know if I can get rid of that. I don't know if I want to put the effort into getting rid of that, but this is going to be a perfect little rig to go down the hill and do brush clearing and firewood cutting and explore with the boys. It's got a hitch on it. I can tow a little trailer, or I can tow the log splitter with it. Pretty junk tires. I'll probably sandblast those, rattle can them, throw the new tires on it when time comes. But it's looking pretty good. Hard to see the interior with the bright light and dark light, but you know, I just vacuumed it out. It's not bad. The seat's not ripped up. The dash has got a crack in it, but it's in pretty good shape. Weather molding, weather stripping didn't seem to leak. Well, we got a little bit of water, but I did blast these out pretty good. I got to get all these bee nests and stuff. So basically the goal was to get it on the road and see what it does. The brakes are sticking. I believe that's going to be the booster. I don't think it's the master cylinder. I think it'll be the actual booster itself. I'll get one of those. Probably got to get rid of these funky fog lights. Put some good LEDs on it. I own a lumber rack that fits this truck, so it'll get a little lumber rack from hauling along boards out. But the glass is all in it. The heater works. Four-wheel drive works. The brakes will work a little better soon. But everything's coming in. The exhaust is pretty well shot on it. I'll probably put something on it because it's just got that annoying rumble of poor exhaust. The overall truck, though, I'm real happy with it. I've got almost nothing into this, so like I was saying, I could go out and buy a nice side-by-side. I just don't want to. It's money I can put elsewhere, and I think this is going to go down my trails fine. It's four-wheel drive. We'll put good tires on it. The boys can sit in it and warm up when they're down there and it's wet out. I'll probably throw it on the insurance if I want to drive it to town in the snow or something and not risk getting the Jeep smashed or whatever. But I think this is going to fit the bill. So I'm going to wrap it up right there, guys. Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos coming. Drop a comment, see what you think of this thing. It kind of takes me back to high school of my age. A couple of my buddies had them. I've had a bunch of Ford Rangers, and they're good little trucks. So this is nothing special, but I'm out almost no dollars, just a little bit of sweat. I'll put a couple $100 in parts in it, tune it up, make it run right, and we'll probably do lots more videos on this. Right now I'm editing some videos on some new equipment on the property, and so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.